The following video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. What's up, football fans? We are in the midst of the NFL season, and I'm still holding on to hope that my team will be the number one seed in the playoffs. So much so that I'm willing to place a bet to prove it. This video is in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official partner of the NFL. And right now, they have an offer you do not want to miss. All customers can get a no-sweat bet on any same-game parlay or same-game parlay extra. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up using my promo code Philly500. And if you're a new customer, DraftKings has something extra special for you. New customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. And if you're already signed up to DraftKings like me, you can get a no-sweat bet on any same-game parlay or same-game parlay extra bet if your bet does not hit. Maximum wagering limits apply. Fan of your alma mater or home team? Combine multiple bets together for a shot at even bigger payouts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use the promo code Philly500. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Philly500 only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. It's fly Eagles fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Get
a
your Philly shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast on the bye week. Joey Shakes, what is happening, my man? How are
good.
you?
I'm good, man. We're on the bye week. We're getting a little bit of rest right now. A lot of good things to talk about, and a lot to come ahead into the second half of the Eagles NFL season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's say hi to everybody in the streams. Chris716 is here. Logan Motorsports, Kai, Christian, Farrow, Cat, William, Donkey Butter. I've never heard of that one. Twits, what's going on? House Cat, Willis, Jeffrey, Felix, Jesse, Nathan, Jerry, Cujo. What's going on, everybody? As anybody, Skidmarks is here. You gotta love when Skidmarks is here. Philly Nation 307. Cheese Boy, what's going on? Eagle Savage, Chris Scott, Mitch, Big D, Philly John, Jacob. We got Rogue. Rogue is here. Wicked's here. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining. Anybody I missed, System of the Knot, what's going on? Thank you guys for being here. Romez, what's happening? Joey, I am looking forward to tomorrow. There's nothing like beating the Dallas Cowboys and then having 2 weeks to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
just sit back and enjoy that shit. I know the Cowboy fans have been telling everybody that they won the game. I've never seen. I mean, that's the first thing I got to ask you, because it's kind of where we left off. Our last show. I mean, do you think it's ridiculous, like what you've heard about Dak Prescott? Now he's in the MVP running, and he was this and he was that, when the guy couldn't score a touchdown in the red zone, dude. Well, what are your thoughts on the whole way the Cowboy fans have kind of taken this game?
The Cowboys the Cowboys had their shot. I mean, you're on the 6-yard line. They had their shot with 20-something seconds left. I mean, plenty of time.
Yeah.
They never took a shot in the end zone. Then they've screwed up. I mean, we literally gave that game away from the 14 all the way down to the 6, gave that game away. And then the Cowboys start making their own mistakes. But, you had Micah Parsons and Stephon Gilmore with their podcast that they had the other day and blame. I mean, a whole podcast based on blaming the refs, and the refs have to be better. And I mean, there's no accountability when it comes to their own team, and they're blaming everybody else but their team and the personnel that is on their team. So
yeah, that's why they don't win championships. Mm-hmm. There's no accountability. That's why you don't win.
True.
It's that. This whole idea, well, Dak should be considered an MVP candidate. Dude, Dak Prescott didn't come through. You can't take a sack at that moment he did. I think that they've totally lost their minds. I think they're going crazy, Cowboy fans. I don't think they can accept the truth, man.
Well,
I
Well,
just don't.
can you really get a satisfaction? Can they really have satisfaction the next 2 weeks to say that they're back
No.
facing the Giants and the Panthers?
No.
Really? I mean,
No. I mean, if let's say Dak Prescott scores right a touchdown and they beat us, I'm not going to sit here for 2 weeks saying the reason we lost was because Jaylen Hurts' knee. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff's out the window.
yeah.
It's crazy. Art Makepeace, thank you for a super chat, man. He goes, showing some love to my 2 favorite Eagle guys, man. We appreciate that,
Art.
man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Chris Scott, a member for 26 months. He says, we got Roby back and we changed our defensive scheme a little. This defense will be good to go. Yeah, listen, I agree. Kenneth Clark, what is that? Is it mine? Welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting some adjustments, right? They've talked to coaching staff about how they're going back and reevaluating everything. And if they truly do that, honestly, they've got to make adjustments on defense, no?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would too. Bald Eagle, thank you for the super chat. He goes, when has someone become an MVP after a loss? I know. You never hear of such insane takes as these guys have. It's totally insane to me, But, I mean, listen, we got our win versus the Dallas Cowboys. And the question now is are we going to be ready for the second half of the season? And I think we should talk about it because there's been a lot of talk and discussion about bringing in another pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
JPP is the hot name. What do you think about bringing him in?
I mean, I got a text from Philly this morning, and I kind of laughed because I died. You
can tell him what it said.
He sent me a text pretty much saying how much. I forgot what it was word by word, but something about like the JPP. Like, can he actually pass rush? What can he do with his blown?
Yeah.
Fingertips.
But what I was asking is how many sacks a year do you think he loses out on the fact that he has a nub instead of fingers? Because when Reddick was hurt and he had his hand and he hurt his thumb, he didn't do anything till that cast came off. So I was just curious I wonder how many sacks, where he goes to grab somebody and he can't grab on. Like, how many sacks do you think it would actually cost him a year? Like, let's say he gets 10 sacks a year. Would it kill him? Like, is it 2 less sacks a year because of it? That's just an honest question. I don't know.
Yeah, he had 3 sacks for the Ravens last year. Had like 13 starts. I mean, as a deep depth guy, I mean, I don't see it. It's a problem. I don't see a problem.
And it's 3 sacks more than Derek Fournette, though.
Right.
Right. Major Payne, a member for 8 months, goes, Sweaty told the Cowgirls not today. He celebrated a bitch too much. AJ told him to get your ass back. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. It was funny. But I mean, I think if you want to go out and get JPP, I think that wouldn't be a bad move. Now, let me ask you this. Would you get him or Ndamukong Suh? Who would you rather have or bring in?
I'm honestly good with either or. Like, I don't mind bringing Suh in. I mean, I'd rather get more from the edge, but I mean, that's just me. I think Derek Barnett's just going to be a waste. I mean, how many more weeks are they going to have him as a healthy scratch? Is Nolan Smith going to get more reps coming off the bye? Now within the Kobe Dean issue, are they going to move some guys around? I don't know, but I don't mind bringing Jace Pierre-Paul, but Ndamukong Suh, like, he's got a little bit of juice. I mean, I'm good with either or. I'm not really picking one over the other. I'm fine with it. I think end is might need more work at end. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah,
no problem.
Splenda says 500. After seeing how we use our running backs, I think we dodged a bullet with Bijan. Listen, you got Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is fantastic, but if Jalen Carter's off the board there, I'm still going Bijan Robinson. He looks absolutely fantastic. Now I get what you're saying. They don't use the running backs we have right. That is true. why I don't understand it. But I would have to think with him, they would use him differently. But, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if they got Bijan, they probably wouldn't have got Swift. They probably wouldn't have traded
Yeah,
for him. I mean,
right.
most likely.
Camel Toe Harris says, Eagle fans act like their Eagles are world beaters. We are. We're 8-1. We're
Yeah.
8-1. We're 8-1. We have the best record in the league. What do you want us to say? No, nobody's saying we're world beaters, but what are we supposed to say?
But what team is
We're
a
8-1.
world beater? But what team is a world beater right now in the league? I mean, what team is playing on all four cylinders perfectly every single week? Not one team. No.
Nobody. I mean, we've got the best record in the National Football League. I mean, that is truly it's truly remarkable what they've done. What they're like, I think we're going into 29 weeks now in which the Eagles will be in first place. 29 consecutive games. That's a ridiculous number. I mean, we've got to appreciate that,
I get it.
Kenny says we need to play Penny. He looks fresh. Now, if I had to talk about, we're talking about reevaluating the two things that I would like to see on defense. Obviously, I'd like to see them blitz more, and you're going to bring up some blitzing stuff that you have for some people. But also on offense, I think they should use Penny more. I think we need to get Penny more involved in this offense.
No, I agree. I think they should definitely have Penny. I don't know. I think because of the injury from Jaylen Hurts in the Cowboys game, they threw him in for a couple snaps. When are they actually going to use him? Like, this is the second half of the season now. So,
are you black and white?
What do you mean?
You're black and white. I don't
Am
know
I?
if it's my screen or if it's you got like a black and white filter on or something.
No.
Did Joey go like back to the 50s?
What are you talking about?
The screen your picture looks black and white.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
like,
know what happened. I clicked on something on my computer and
now you look like you're in the 50s, dude. Joey just traveled back in time to before color.
You want me to leave and come back?
No, you don't have to. Joe says Jalen Carter's more valuable to the Eagles than Bijan. Oh, of course. There's no question about it. I mean, the Eagles got the best player in the draft,
Yeah.
And nothing to show for. What are you supposed to show after 9 weeks? You can only show 8-1. That's all you could show at this point.
True.
Bald Eagle says, how does Sirianni think this defense is good when every team's been a part of has given 25 plus points in the playoffs with this style and they lose? I don't know. I think Sirianni is going to say certain things that he just has to say. But I have to believe in house. They're trying to figure this out. I mean, don't you think so?
Let's go back, okay? Like, because we've talked about this like a couple times already. Like, when they went through the hiring process to go get a defensive coordinator, wasn't it Nick Sirianni that wanted to have this same scheme? Like, did they actually go to a lot of defensive coordinators or guys that wanted the job and say, hey, this is the scheme I want. Can you run it? Since Fangio was supposed to be a hire. So I think the Eagles were supposed to have this type of defense. I think this is what Nick likes in this defense. I think he does like this defense, and that's why it hasn't changed. Maybe they didn't get the best defensive coordinator that was out there. I don't know. I don't know what the plan was going into getting Sean Desai or getting a defensive coordinator in general, but behind the really in front of the media, I mean, he hasn't really ripped the defense apart at all. And then behind the scenes, we're hoping during this bye week, since now Bradley Roby's coming back, you settle at nickel because they have to, like you said, I was watching you with Dan Cilio, and you talked about like they need like a little bit of a revamp, just something. They need to change something because whatever they're doing right now is not working. Right. So instead of moving Byer to nickel, like they move so many guys to nickel constantly to the point where, so if you're settled at that position, if Bradley Roby could stay healthy, you got to play a little bit more physical. I mean, they just got to play a little bit close to the chest. That's all.
Now, you said you have the blitz rates, right?
Yeah.
You have that up to share with everybody? Because I think it's pretty interesting statistics.
Yeah. So this is from obviously Elliott Short Parks is always, with the statistics of every damn thing. So, so the Eagles blitz percentage. So Gannon in 2022, his blitz rate was 22.1% of the defensive snaps. Compared to Sean Desai this year, as to right now this week, 22.7 which is very so 22.1, 22.7. It's equal. So regardless, it's going to be more. But how much more is the question. And on top of that, Gannon and the Cardinals on third down blitzes, he leads the league in blitzes on third downs.
So when he goes to the Cardinals, he decides that it's good thing to blitz on
It's
third
crazy.
down. I can't stand Jonathan Gannon. Everything he does annoys the hell out of me. It does. Kat says, Joey's poster is showing some color. I see red and green. Yeah, your poster's red.
Yes, yeah.
That's wild. But the rest of it is black and white. I feel like I'm talking to a time traveler. Like you ever see the movie Frequency?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, good movie. Great movie. Frequency, where there's like this cop is talking to his father like through radio waves somehow, and his dad's back in like the 60s and he's in the 90s. And it's a pretty interesting show. I feel like that. I feel like Joey's back in the what, 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Paul's Garage says, what is good for Joey? What's going on, my man?
Going on, man?
How are you? Yeah, I think Gannon everything Gannon does drives me up a wall. But I think the Eagles definitely need to blitz more. I think you needed to blitz Dak Prescott more in that game. I don't understand how you let a guy just sit in the pocket and keep doing the same thing without trying to change things up, you know?
Even on a second and long, third and long, like you're still depending on a four-man pass rush, you know, to make some sacrifices, you know, blitz another guy this way. You're not giving up a big play, and they haven't done it. Like they haven't been doing it, right?
Yeah. Visa sounds like a good movie. Oh, Frequency is a great movie. Definitely, it's worth watch. Bald Eagle, David Super Chat goes, my point is it doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is. The defensive scheme has been proven to suck. When he's with the Colts and getting into the Cards, it sucks. I agree. I do not like the scheme. It is not the style of defense I prefer to play. So I actually agree with you. But, you know, you're stuck with it, right? So the question is how do you make it a little bit better? You know, I feel like when the Eagles and the games in which they've gotten more aggressive and they've actually brought heat and played a little more man, I think they shut teams down. It's when they come out and play the way they do that drives me nuts. I mean, I think about the second half of that Rams game, and I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, even Miami, because Miami, they played really good too. I thought they were very careful against Miami, but they were still aggressive at times.
But you know, when Dak Prescott's coming out there and he's just doing everything in the pocket, I just don't understand. Like, at what point do you try to change it up, get him out of rhythm, get him out of sync? Yeah. I don't understand it. You know, it's like torturous. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. It really is like that. Major Paint, thank you for the super chat. He goes, hey guys, imagine Swift having more carries. He's top 5 now, and also AJ top 5 and Hurts top 5, and Baby Rhino Rookie of the Year. We love this team. Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. Jaylen Hurts definitely in conversation for MVP. You said what's his face said that if the Eagles go 4-1, he'll win MVP. I can't think.
Dan Sileo.
Yeah, Dan said that. That's pretty interesting.
It's very interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
Logan says Brian Johnson needs to be more aggressive too, Philly and Joey. I think so at times too. You know, I would like to see more Swift featured. I'd like to see more of Penny. You know, I really would. But you know, it is what it is.
It's situational football, dude. It's like if it's like I keep going back to that play because it pissed me off so much where they could have wasted more time. I think they have a big issue with time management. I think they have an issue with, obviously, you know, it's second and short, third and short, and they don't run the ball. They'll throw they'll throw a dart downfield, which is unnecessary if you're trying to, you know, get more time of possession. So
right, yeah. Sister now says 500. Gannon's defense is doing pretty good in Arizona, and Schwartz's defense is doing pretty well in Cleveland. So maybe the problem on our defense goes higher than the coaches. I mean, if like Howie Roseman's sitting there telling them what schemes they've got to run, I think that would be very bad. And I'm not saying you're wrong. You know, I think Gannon probably blitzes more on third down because he's probably learned over the years, you got to do it, but I don't know. It's hard to figure out. It really is. The Eagles, for as long as I can remember growing up, they never were aggressive downhill attack style defense,
True.
Kenny says, didn't Bill Davis and Schwartz also have the bend but don't break style? They might be Howie's philosophy, create explosive plays and try to limit them. Yeah, they did do that. The thing that Schwartz did that I thought was really good was he was very good at creating pressure with his front. He was very good at using, that defensive line and finding ways to get pressure. Now, they did that a lot last year. And I don't think they're doing necessarily a bad job, but I personally think that when a guy is in rhythm and a guy comes out and he's, 10 of 12 or 15 of 17, I think you've got to do something to take him out of rhythm. I do. I do.
Look, at the end of the day, you're winning football games because of your offense, and you're winning football games because of these fourth quarter. Like the fourth quarters have been crazy for this team. Like fourth quarter sacks, big time stops, been going nuts. So
yeah. What it is and what you worry about is that you're winning, and so you're overlooking these issues, and that one day when it counts, like in the playoffs, it's going to creep up and bite you in the ass. That's what you have to worry about, But at the same time, it's hard to argue when you're 8-1. It really, I mean.
Let me get out of here and come back because this is really annoying me. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Joey's going back in time. Bold Brew, thank you for the super chat. He goes, the defense success hinges on the defensive line. The D-line has to bring pressure. Absolutely. I mean, that's the bread and butter. They have to get pressure. The team just finds ways to win. Somehow I have a heart attack, but we get the W. We do. We really do. And I think a lot of that has to do with Jaylen and the way he just puts us on his back. I think that third quarter he put us on his back. All right, Joey's back to the future.
I'm back in time.
Yeah. What the hell was that? Anyways, do you know?
I have no idea. No idea what happened.
Yeah. It's crazy. D-Hart, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, D-Hart?
King of Philly says it's a system defense with the organization that Lauren Roseman won. Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, and if that's the case, then you would think that they would keep spending a lot of money on the defensive line. They have to get better at corner. I think those guys are a little older, but I would like to see them spend some resources on linebacker. Like if you're going to run this defense, you might as well have linebackers that can cover and stuff.
It's what I mean.
Jeremiah Trotter.
Oh yeah, you're going to be pulling for that guy all offseason. I already know it. I mean, Nicholas Morrow is ranked, I think, 8th in the league as an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ranked pretty high. Now, is he going to be perfect all season? No, but Nakobe Dean, I just don't think that they can win with him this year. At this point, he's got 3 injuries. He's been on IR. He's been on IR twice. Now, the rule I didn't know of, maybe you've known this, they can only put 8 guys on IR throughout the whole year. So you can only put guys on IR 8 times for one season, one team, 8 times. So
8 times? Interesting.
Yeah.
So how many? So he's been on there twice.
Yeah.
See, I actually thought that if you had, I always thought you only could put a guy on for IR. I don't know why one time, but I guess not. Maybe if it's the same injury, I don't know. It's the opposite foot. It's not the same foot. So I don't know if he's going to be. Liz Frank can be a season-ending injury. So I don't know if he's going to be back or not. I don't. But Morrow has been really good. So I don't know how much it's going to hurt you. And I'm not trying to give up on Nakobe Dean or anything. I think you got to keep giving him a chance to develop.
And Morrow played really good in a crappy defense for the Bears last year. He played really well.
He did. Joe says, perspective, they win the Super Bowl, giving up 500 yards in the air. We are parading. Regular season, we are bitching. Absolutely. 100%. Just like in the Super Bowl. Most people forget the Eagles in 2017 gave over 500 yards to Brady passing. People don't remember that because we won. Barack Obama, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, do you guys have any Philly Shakedown merch? No, we don't have any really yet. Well, we need to work on something. We definitely need to do that. That's on the short list of things
Mhm.
that we have to do. Now, tomorrow we've got a bye week. What are you rooting for tomorrow? You kind of know what you want to happen to feel like it was a successful bye week?
I mean, you obviously you're looking at the Cowboys and Giants playing how that we're gonna find out the Cowboys are overlooking the
Danny
next couple.
DeVito.
Yeah,
Danny
yeah.
DeVito. Did you see this kid said that he lives with his mom? She still does his laundry and makes chicken cutlets. I'm like, this guy. Oh, we're in
We're not going to
trouble.
get what we want this week. I mean, if the Cowboys overlook the next 2 weeks, like I think they're really aiming at facing the Eagles at home like that. But they got to win these games too and stay healthy. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Cowboys. There's no way. I mean, I'm gonna be streaming that Cowboys game tomorrow, but I mean, they're not gonna lose to the Giants. If they lose to the Giants, they will have all out hell from me that they'll never be able to live down. But they're not gonna lose to the Giants. That'll be a blowout. The 49ers play the Jaguars early.
it's a good game.
I think the Jaguars are going to win that game. That's in Jacksonville.
Mhm.
Jacksonville's not a slouchy team, and then you got Detroit playing, I think, the Chargers. This is the team we've got to worry about, okay? Because we talk about the second half of the season, and people are really worried about this schedule. But where the Eagles are, I read something today. The Eagles have a 70% chance right now to win the NFC conference, to win home field advantage throughout the playoffs. 70% chance. They've got the final 3 games. Giants. Let me just put up their schedule because I got it here.
Who's
But
schedule?
the Eagles. So if you look at the Eagles' schedule, right, they've got the Giants, Arizona, and the Giants. That's how they finish the season. That's a win, right? That's 3 wins right there. So that will put you at 11 wins right now. We can guarantee 11 wins. What do you think it takes to clinch home field? I think 14 wins will get it done for sure. I think 13 wins and you probably got a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
So they've got to win really 2 of their hard schedule when they got Kansas City, home at Buffalo, home at San Francisco. They got to go to Dallas and they got to go to Seattle. If they win just 2 of those games and this is worst case scenario I see for the Eagles. Okay, 2 wins and then they win the last 3. That's 5 wins. That takes them to 13 wins right there. So my point is they're in a really good situation. I think they might beat Kansas City. I'm starting to get a good feeling about that, man. I think they beat Buffalo. I think they beat San Francisco. I think they beat Dallas. Seattle, we should beat Seattle, but for whatever reason, we always struggle there. But
Right.
I mean, this team very well could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-1 in the next 5 games. And that should get it done. Really.
Do you think Hurts' health will be a lot better after this? Do you think he'll feel a lot better? I mean, he'll still be injured most
Yeah,
likely.
I think he'll feel a lot better. I have a feeling Hurts is about to heat up. Like he just looks like every week he's getting better and better.
Now,
And
is the KC game like you think there's a good chance for the Eagles to win this game? Now, is it because the KC hasn't looked great since the enemy left, or is it more because there's a fire inside Jaylen Hurts?
I think out of all the games the Eagles are going to want to win and be ready for it. I think they want revenge. And I think Kansas now Andy Reid is really good usually after the bye week. But I think we got a shot that game. I'm not saying I think it's the hardest game on the schedule. I think we've got a shot, It could obviously go either way. It's a tough place to play, but I think they got a legitimate shot.
Someone said that at Philly 500 Chiefs aren't going to have a wet field to save them this time.
That's true. That's a good point. We hope not, anyways, or that would really be suspicious.
Yeah.
We got 539 people in between both channels. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, hit that like, make sure you subscribe, click the link, go sub Joey if you're on my channel. And I agree. I think Kyler says 12 minimum, 13 should lock it, 14 guarantee. I think 14 guarantees it. And I bring this up because we've got to start looking not just at the Eagles schedule, but we also got to start looking at our biggest opponents. Like, who's the team out of everybody in the division, in the conference, that is the biggest threat to the Eagles? Like, who would you think is the biggest threat in your opinion? I think it's the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions are legitimate threats.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
win, to compete with us for the NFC.
yeah, it really does. It just depends on like how San Francisco bounces back. I know Trent Williams is questionable. I mean, you losing their left tackle, Debo's gonna be coming back soon, and to see if like they're gonna look the same or they're gonna look worse. So I think it really depends on San Francisco how they bounce back. Really,
Yeah.
So.
Bald Eagle, thank you for Super Chat. Lions schedule is very easy. They could win 13, and that's what I think because the Niners have 3 losses. They got to play the Eagles. I think that's number 4. I don't think the Eagles are going to have worse than 4 losses. So I think the Eagles are in a great position for San Francisco. But I think Bald Eagle brings up a great point. I wanted to show you this. This is the schedule for the Lions. I queued it up because I think that this team right here is our biggest threat. Okay. If you look at where we're at week 10, they're playing the Chargers tomorrow. Then they've got Chicago at home, Green Bay at home, at New Orleans, all winnable games. Then at Chicago, winnable. Versus Denver, winnable. At Minnesota, maybe they lose that game. Depends on where Minnesota's at. At Dallas, they might lose that game. And then versus Minnesota. We could be in a situation where we are actually having to root for Dallas to beat Detroit to clinch home field. But this team right here is the biggest threat to the Eagles in the conference.
Yeah,
because their schedule is easy. Their schedule is very, very winnable. Now, they are the Detroit Lions. Let's not forget that. And you expect them to stumble at some point. But right now, the Lions with 2 losses have a very easy schedule, Joey.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I haven't looked at this. It's the first time I'm even looking at it. It might help us by the end of the season, like because the Vikings, depending with the Vikings, obviously, you know, with Josh Dobbs being in there, how good he's going to be, and if Justin Jefferson's going to sit out the rest of the year, there's off this injury because he might be saying, you know what, I want a new contract, and he might be sitting out because of the contract, so it might make a big difference. So, yeah, that's going to be crazy.
No yeah. Major Pate David Super Chat. He goes, shirt suggestion for podcast. Joey stole my wife. That might work. That might work. I will probably sell a lot of those. Joel Ramos, David Super Chat. He goes, confident if we the number 2 seed, we can beat Detroit. Oh, I think we could beat Detroit, and I think we'll win the conference. I don't think we're not going to win a conference. I'm just saying from a perspective of, looking at what other teams are doing and rooting interest, like tomorrow, you want to go for the Chargers. Chargers tomorrow, they're playing LA Chargers. Hopefully Herbert can actually beat a good team. But this would be your biggest threat right now, the Detroit Lions. Do I think that they'll catch the Eagles? I do not. But anytime that they can lose will only help the Eagles.
Any given Sunday.
So a perfect day for me tomorrow is if Detroit and the Niners lose, I'm happy. That's a great day tomorrow. So, I'll be keeping really close. I'll be streaming the Cowboys, Giants, and the Niners. I'm doing a doubleheader tomorrow. So we're going to keep a close eye on the Detroit Lions. But the Eagles are really in a great position to get home field throughout the playoffs, man. And like I said before, the Eagles get home field, then nobody's coming to Philly and beating them in January.
No. Definitely not.
Cash Money says, bro, Philly, Detroit is cheeks, man. They literally got blown out by Detroit. All I'm saying is from a standpoint of record, they've only got 2 losses, and none of those teams on that schedule are as good as Baltimore. So, if you want for rooting interest, you want to start rooting against Detroit. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
The only team that can beat the Eagles is the Eagles. Enough said. Oh, I agree.
True.
I agree. But you've got to look at where other teams are. You want this thing to get wrapped up quickly. I would love to go into the Arizona game and be able to sit guys.
Well,
Imagine if you could get Jaylen Hurts a couple weeks of rest because you could lock it up early. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem we had last year. Like, Hurts got hurt at the worst moment during that Bears game, and we literally had to win one more game, and we had Minshew for 2 weeks and couldn't get this early, at least, kind of clinch early. This way you can give these guys rest. I don't know what the Eagles, so what if they do clinch early, like 3 weeks, before the first Giants game, if they clinch? Okay, like, what do you think? I don't know how Nick is going to go about it if he starts resting guys, and to be careful with this, you don't want guys to be too rested as well. So
I would probably, if it was me, and let's say you clinch, let's say you go into that first Giants game, you're clinched and locked everything up, I would probably play them a half. Play your starters a half versus the Giants, half versus Arizona, and then completely sit them the last game versus, it'd be something like that. That's what I would do. Kyle says, Philly 500, where's the squad cobblers? You have to go to my OnlyFans for that. It's on my OnlyFans. If the Lions home field throughout the playoffs, Lion fans will go wild, Philly and Joey. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Lions are going to get it. I told you guys that right now the Eagles have a 70% chance to win home field. I expect the Eagles to win it. But the only team that I think that you keep an eye on, all I'm saying, tomorrow we have a bye week. Start rooting against the Lions. It only helps the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
3,500, beating the Seahawks should help us with the common games tiebreakers against the Lions. Yeah. Listen, I don't think the Lions are – I think the Lions will lose at least 2 more games. I think that's bound to happen. I think the Eagles, they might lose 2 more games the rest of the year also. But, no, I mean –
San Francisco lost how many? San Francisco's lost how – 3? Would they lose 3 games?
The Niners? Yeah, they're 5-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have 3 losses. They still have to come to Philly in playoffs. I don't think that bodes well for them, and I think they lose tomorrow. I really think they're going to lose to the Jags. So you're talking about a team that's going to have 4 losses before they even come play the Eagles.
Damn.
You look at the Dallas schedule. Dallas has got a tough stretch coming when they got to go to Buffalo, got to go to Miami. They got to Philly. They got Seattle. I mean, they got a tough stretch themselves. They got to play Detroit. So, the Eagles are really in a great situation. That winning that Dallas game was super important for the Eagles.
Yes. 100%.
Radiation Boss, thank you for super chat. He goes, our biggest weakness is Kansas City's biggest weakness in the past game. I think if we lose the Seahawks and 50-50 with Dallas, I'm hyped to go to Arrowhead. I am too. I think the Eagles will beat Buffalo. I think Buffalo's not that good. What do they got? 4 losses? Buffalo?
Yeah, they're very
they're
up
not
and
as
down.
good as you think. I think the 49ers are one-dimensional. And then I think the Dallas fans think that they're going to beat us in Dallas. I'm not so sure that's going to happen, dude. I think the Eagles are going to sweep Dallas's ass.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too. It's good. I can't wait to that game. Jags defense is pretty good. They are. Absolutely. Cowboys first round exit, most likely. Hey, Joey and 500, who are the common opponents to Eagles and Lions? So I have to pull up the Lions. Let me pull up the Lions schedule. I can tell you. So the Chiefs would be one. Seattle. Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I
think Vikings
would be one, and Dallas. Those would be it. So Dallas, Minnesota. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any. Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Kansas City would be common opponents.
Right.
They beat Kansas City. So we'll see. It's going to be a very fun second half of the year. Man Titan, David Super Chat goes, boys, did you see Circa Parsons saying refs gave the game to the Eagles? He said they need more refs on the field. Dallas still sucks. Yeah, I know. I feel like Micah Parsons, after the game, he was a lot more real. And then he got fed all this crap about the refs. And they actually are trying to blame the refs. Can you believe it? Of all the teams that should never blame referees, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
True.
Never, because they get away with murder. They get away literally with holding every play. Every play. Linda says, I looked at the all-22 closely, and the Eagles' physicality was just too much for Dallas to handle. Go look at the tape. Oh, I believe you.
I got to check it out.
Especially in that third quarter. Like Like, I felt like in that third quarter, I felt like Jaylen Hurts just put him on his back, and they just punched Dallas in the mouth, and Dallas just could not keep up. And then I feel like when the Eagles got that 28-17, I felt like they do what they do. They take the foot off the gas, and they allowed Dallas to climb back into it, to be honest with you.
Get it.
I do. I really, that's what we've had that problem before. Hi, Orions. Welcome to Dingbat Superfans. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. Mar says, Cowboys and Niner fans are exactly the same. Bunch of crybabies, and their fan base follow. I'm not going to argue with you there.
Oh, it's pretty similar. The players especially. It's even worse. It's worse with Dallas now. Like after this Micah Parsons podcast, it's even worse.
Yeah, Parsons is doing too much talking. Joe says, Philly Joey, did you catch Nolan Smith on ESPN College Day today?
Mm-mm.
I did not. No, I was doing Christmas stuff today. I already put up trees and stuff. But no, I didn't get to see it. You know what's funny about the Cowboys situation in that game is the Cowboys played Jaylen Hurts, which Jaylen Hurts couldn't have a whole element of his game wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the threat of him running wasn't even there. When you add that dimension to that offense,
crazy.
It's a whole nother level. Now, if he goes in the Dallas game, in December, he may be feeling a lot better. If that's the case, Dallas is going to be in big trouble. Joel Ramos, thank you for super chat. He goes, hey, Philly, these cockroach cow duds are on here talking. The nerve after we flipped Dak like a baton at the goal line. Empty calorie sack Prescott. I'm telling you. They do talk way too much. I can't believe they're talking about Dak Prescott is an MVP candidate. Dude, you lost the game. He couldn't score a touchdown, Joey, on the final drive.
They gave you the game.
You were at the 6-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry. That has to count for something. It just has to count for something.
I don't get it.
5 stars says, what's up, 500? And Joey, hope that you're feeling better, 500. Joey, do you think the Giants can get a win tomorrow?
No, definitely not.
Tommy DeVito is playing. Danny DeVito. Is Saquon Barkley healthy? Is he playing?
Should be.
I'd give him the ball 40 times. he would have 280 yards. Let me tell you, if Cowboys choke season's coming early, I would love it to be tomorrow. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Chandler says, no miraculous comeback for KC without Bieniemy. Yeah, you might be right. I think the Kansas City is very.
I mean, we've seen what Bieniemy's doing with Washington, and it's the play calling is great. I mean, and Hal could sling it really good. So
yeah,
good acquisition.
Yeah, Splendor says 500. That hit to Hurts' knee looked like it hurt more than it being injured. That looked like it hurt, and he's crawling on the ground, and he's like, and I'm thinking, dude, he's done. He's done, and that was so scary. But he just came back in. I mean, he literally came back in and was even better.
It's
that
crazy,
was the
right?
Crazy thing. Yeah. I mean, he was even better. And that's what I mean. Like, I really thought you saw the difference between Jaylen Hurts and Dak Prescott. Jaylen Hurts hurt his knee, stays in the game in the third quarter. People didn't even know if he was coming back in at halftime. And he comes out and he puts the team on his back. And he goes down. And they go up 28-17. I thought it was just MVP-like, dude. I really do.
Yeah, he must have felt a little bit better. I mean, he probably wasn't feeling great, but I mean, when he actually got up and he was walking with one leg pretty much. Like I figured it was over at that point.
Yeah, they gave the Hurts Mahomes. I'm sure they did. They must have given him something at halftime.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were putting in that IV, but it worked. Yeah. But I just thought the way he played, because people want to say, especially Cowboy fans, they always talk about how Jaylen Hurts is a good running back. But he sat in the pocket and he threw all over.
And the thing is, he went to the locker room like he didn't even get checked out. He didn't allow anyone to check him out. Like he wanted no one to check him out. So they can't, put put him on a report that he has to be out. I don't know if Nick obviously had. I mean, Nick probably talked to him for a second, but reported he didn't even like go to the blue tent. He didn't even go into the doctor. Nothing. He got nothing. Saw on his legs. So kind of crazy.
Yeah. Nathan says, I think the comment of "I do anything for Philly" was taking a perk 500. A little danger. You think that's what it was? Oh no. I mean, if that was me and I took a perk, I'd have been like this. I would
We've
have been
seen
out
that once.
I'd have been out for like 10 days. I would have been like, ugh.
Hey Joey, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I'll do as much as I can, but he's like,
I know. I'm like, hey Joe, did you see? Yeah, that was not good. Oh man. I thought I could take it and it would take a while to kick in and we get through, but no. Wesley Rock is still crying. Cry, Wesley Rock, cry. After these next 2 weeks for Dallas, the media and everybody are going to be thinking they're the best team ever. Oh yeah, well they got the Giants. And who they got after the Giants? I forget.
Panthers.
Oh, the Panthers. Yeah, that's 2 wins. They'll probably lose Thanksgiving to Washington, though. You know. Cowgirls equal road wild card team. Yeah, it's looking like that. Yeah. Hit the like button for our boys, Philly 500 Joey. Thank you, man. Thank you. Man. Nah, man, it's just a cortisone shot. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, Vicodin. Like seriously, like if it was a Vicodin, I think he would pass out. I think he would be so tired. But whatever it was, listen.
Pure energy.
He's tough, man. He was tough, and he stood in there, man. He made. I mean, that pass to Devontae Smith was
well, like you said, dude. Like, oh yeah, that was on them. That was his best throw of the day, no doubt. I mean, we're seeing Jaylen Hurts, like you said it before. Like I watched some tape of him last year, like just out of nowhere. Like see like how fast he was last year to not having that this year with this injury. Just wait until he gets healthy, uses his legs again. It's just another element we're, like you said, another element we're losing from this offense. And it's just and he runs when he has to, and he slides, does not taking unnecessary shots, but it's crazy.
No, it was. Yeah, he was awesome. Catch Money says 500. Did you see what Reddick said to Debo and Fred Warner on the Rich Eye? No. What did he say? Did you hear anything? I haven't heard anything. No. You got to have to tell me. I hope Jaylen used the LeBron cryo chamber this past week. I mean, I don't know. I hope that the week off really helps his knee. I do. But, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, I have no idea, Hopefully it'll get better. Joe says, a Giants and Jags win, a Saints loss, that would be a great weekend. I just think a 49ers loss and a Detroit loss is a perfect bye week, Y'all don't even respond to trolls. They won't get a kick out of it anymore. They don't even say reasonable things. Well, I just think it's funny that some of them they disappear, and then they come back on the eve of Dallas playing a crappy team. But when they lose,
right,
they're gone. 500. I feel like these division games are making our defense look worse than it actually is. I think a couple things on defense to think about. I think one, we've got to give Kevin Byard time to adjust.
Yes, of course.
He's got to have time. He's going to start getting better and better. And I think by December, I think he'll be starting to play pretty good football. Also, Roby comes back. And if he goes back in the slot. Now, if you get those two guys to start playing decent, I think you'll see dramatic changes in the secondary. I think they'll be much, much better. I do.
I hope so.
I mean, part of the thing is teams have no choice but to throw. Because you cannot run on this team.
Did you see so like the NFL put out like a video, it was like NFL films with the mic'd up stuff, and it was at the fourth quarter, and Slay was sitting there when Desai like went to them on the sideline. Yeah. He said, if 88 goes in the slot, I'm going and I'm covering him. Like I think he just had enough of just sitting on one side the whole entire game. So if Roby's coming back in and Byard doesn't have to move anywhere, no one else has to be going in and out, and our guys are staying healthy at least. Like what do you think has to happen with these cornerbacks? Like, what do they? Should they shadow? I mean, they have to do something. It's just crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, how much is Slay really a slot? I like that Slay stepped up there and took it upon himself. I would like to see more man with Slay. I would like to put Slay on their best receiver you're playing, but they're just not the way that they're going to play. It's just not how they do things. So to me, you've got to get more pressure. You've got to get more pressure on a quarterback. You got to disrupt the quarterback. And to me, I think they need to up their blitzes. If they're blitzing 22% of the time, I think it should be about 35%. But I don't know that they'll do that, But otherwise, I don't know what they're going to change. I think with Byard getting better and more adjusted, I think with Roby coming back, I think things will tighten up. I do.
True. No, hopefully, yeah. I hope
yeah,
so.
hopefully. Victor says Reddick basically said that he has the Chiefs and Niners game marked, and they felt that in the Niners case, there was so much talk, which is code for whining. That's awesome.
I have the whole quote here. I have the whole entire quote from him.
Oh, yeah, read it.
So he said the San Francisco, he said the San Fran game, man, a lot of chirping, a lot of back and forth over social media about what would have, could have, and should have happened. I'm looking forward to that one. No game more than that. I've seen things with the guys were saying, Debo, Fred, a lot of these guys that came out and talked about it. I respect them. For me, it's like, bring it on. Y'all kept talking. Y'all talked about all the whole offseason through the Super Bowl and after the playoff game. So it's like, better be prepared because I know I will be, and I'm going to do my best to make sure the team is ready too.
Reddick, the one thing about Reddick is a closer. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a guy I went out there in a third down situation or, a big passing situation than Reddick, because Reddick closes games out, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good news for Purdy. Purdy's probably having nightmares of Reddick. But I don't know. I don't know where the 49ers are going to be because I really think they're going to lose tomorrow. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a good team. They're the number 2 seed in the AFC right now. People act like the Jags are going to just roll over for the 49ers. I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Niners are going to lose.
Big chance.
Or we told, nobody would want to have Dak Prescott on the team. How's guy just use? So what are you guys talking about? Yeah, I think Jacksonville's going to. They're fighting with the Cowboy trolls. Cowboy trolls are they're just so annoying. I don't understand them either. Like, you lost. What do you have to possibly say? I don't know what they.
That we're going to lose to every opponent that's not them. That's really it.
I mean, what can you possibly say? They're literally trying to make a case that a guy who can't win in the fourth quarter, who runs out of bounds on a 2-point conversion, should be an MVP candidate. He's a choker. He choked you that game. Don't you guys understand? You choked against the Eagles. You had first down at the 6-yard line, and you lost. Dude, you stink.
Crazy.
There's nothing you can say to us. Joe says the Eagles defense needs continuity. And they'll get playing. I think so. I think they'll get better. And I really think when Byard starts to play well, and Roby comes back and these guys are healthy, I think it'll make a big difference. I also think this. Jordan Davis, the last 2 weeks have been hurt. I'm sorry. I know how good, Jalen Carter is. I know how good those. But I'm telling you, when Jordan Davis is in there, he makes everything else better. Everybody else goes up a couple notches. And he played, I think 12% of the snaps last week. And then around that the week before because of the hamstring. He needs to be healthy. And I think that'll be huge. I also think you've got to use Nolan Smith more. You got to get him on the field. Forget Derek Barnett. I wouldn't even dress Derek Barnett at this point.
No, it's a waste. It's a waste of a roster spot. It's waste.
Yeah. Here's why I think the 49ers have a problem versus the Eagles. Because the way you beat the Eagles, really, the way you beat the 49ers, rather, is you make them one-dimensional. If you shut down their running game, they're very beatable. Everything has to work, especially in the passing game, with Purdy off of a good run game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has been able to run consistently on the Eagles. I think that's a bad matchup for the Niners.
Yeah, and I think even with CMC, like he's playing with a torn oblique right now. Like he's playing hurt still. It's like, how long is he going to last the whole season? Can he even make it to the playoffs with an injury like that? I mean, I don't know, but
it's tough.
He's playing well, but how long is it going to last?
Yep. Flying Puppet Comics says, I hate it that we get no love. It's been all about the Cowboys, this or that loss. Yeah, nothing about how good we are or how good Hurts played. This game was added to the legend of Hurts. I thought this game, and I totally agree with you, I thought this was a game that really adds to his legend. I thought it was one of those like really gut out performances by Jaylen Hurts, and I was really shocked how the whole narrative was the Cowboys played well enough to win. Dak actually played good. Like, and I'm thinking that team choked. The team that the guy deserves credit should be the guy that was crawling and could barely get up in the second quarter. That's the guy they should be talking about, not Dak Prescott. He came up small again. You know, I thought it was as close to a regular season signature win as you could.
It's just viewership. They're all going to talk about it, because talk about the Cowboys is just big news. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, that's how it is.
Yep. I actually think right now, you know, A.J. Brown is the MVP of the league. I actually believe he's the MVP.
It's hard not to say that.
And you know, whether he is or not by the end of the year, that's a whole nother discussion. But I mean, I think if you go, I would go A.J. Brown, then I would go Hurts and Mahomes. End up winning the MVP. He has a legitimate chance. A Warrior Rage says, now that we have Roby back, I think it'll settle down the secondary. Without a legit slot corner, it's hard to try to cover your assignments and make up for someone else. I agree. And all they did was throw CeeDee Lamb in the slot. You know, why not?
It's a mismatch it was a mismatch all game against two rookies. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not that good. Come on, he's good, but he ain't that good. That ain't happening again. Linda says, I love the Cowboys hate. It means we own. We're owning their head. Yes, psychological advantage, Eagles, absolutely. Mark is taking the Eagles loss pretty bad. Let me tell you, Mark Holmes, I said it this season, he is not going to make it through. He can't take it. He can't handle it. And you're starting to see him break down right now. You know? I love when Mark yells at the end of the game. There's a lot more yelling coming. Believe me. Cheese Boy David Super Check goes, Joey, can we get a check-in on the legendary Mozzie Smith?
3 solo tackles. Still
3 solo tackles.
Yeah, it's better.
How about that? That's insane. You gotta love it. Thank you, Cheese Boy, for the super chat. Philly Talk Podcast, Mike, what's up, man? He goes, congrats on 80,000. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He says, going to be relaxing Sunday tomorrow, but I will miss our birds. Definitely miss the birds, but I am going to enjoy. I'm going to enjoy tomorrow. You know, hopefully it just goes our way. But thank you, man. Appreciate that. 500 Dak stepping out on a 2-point conversion cost them the game. If he didn't choke the kick, field goal. Yeah, they didn't. But the thing is, Dak choked. That to me, that's a choke job. You don't know where you're at on the field in that situation. Choke job.
True.
Sorry. If McNabb did it back in the day, everybody would have said, "Oh, he choked." So I say Dak Prescott choked. Mahomes has the same amount of interceptions as Hurts, and we don't hear that Patty is a turnover machine. Funny how that is. Stats only count against you when you don't win the MVP. No, I agree. And plus, I mean, dude, Jaylen Hurts is doing it on one leg. You know how hard it is to do that? And they take a whole element of your game out, and he's doing it. Like in the long run, I look at this time that Jaylen Hurts doesn't have the ability to run, and he's becoming a better pocket passer. He's becoming even better. And it's just going to be another element that he can't be stopped at, Joey. That's how I look at it.
No, I mean, that's what made us nervous this year. Like we started noticing, we noticed like before, like we were hearing about this injury with his knee, like we knew something was wrong with him. He was not taking the unnecessary hits. He was not running at full speed. We thought maybe he was like, the coaches were pointing into his head that don't run through people. You know, like I said, the unnecessary hits, like he wasn't running. Like when he would run with the ball, he would like be indecisive of, should I run for the first down or should I kind of go out of bounds a little bit before the first down marker and save myself a little bit. So, I mean, it was true. You know, he's been dealing with an injury since early in the season when they were literally just running QB design runs, and he was getting hit so much early in the season. So, kind of nuts.
Exactly. Jolo says 500 with so much discussion about the slot corner. Does that secure a job for Maddox? It's a great question. Well, he's signed through what's he signed through? Is he signed through next
one
year?
more year? He's got
so he'll be back. Yeah, he'll be back.
He's got a big dead cap hit of 10 million, so I don't know if that's going to work. He's got a big cap hit next year. So,
yeah, no, I expect him to be back. Joe said there's no moral victory column in the standings. If there was, the Cowboys would be in first place. I know. What was their moral victory versus Arizona? That's what I want to know. They act like that didn't happen. You know what I mean? It Warrior Rage says statistically, Mahomes and Hurts are literally neck and neck with each other. I know. And those would be my two MVPs after A.J. Brown. But I think A.J. Brown at the mid-season part, that would be my MVP. To see what he has done, man, you just can't, you know. Bloody Shot. Thank you for Super Chat. He goes, how's it going, Philly and Joey? Hope the Giants can pull an upset on the Cowboys. And happy birthday, Jerry Jones. Yes, 6,683 years old. It is not easy being 6,684 years old. Yeah, Jerry Jones saw them invent fire. You know, he was there when they invented the wheel. You know, but man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Danny DeVito's going to win tomorrow. I really don't know how this kid's going to win the game.
Danny DeVito touchdown.
Oh my God, that'll be hilarious. Cowboys should be able to. They should be able to spank the Giants tomorrow. That game should be over by halftime, truthfully. But we'll see, you know. Maybe the Cowboys spent the whole week talking about how great they are, that they almost win. Maybe they set themselves up for a big crash, you know.
If they overlook, it could. Who knows?
Never know. Fade Gaming. Thank you for Super Chat. Goes Philly and Joey. Joey and Philly, watch when the Eagles beat the 49ers. They're going to whine and complain just like the Cowgirls. Laugh out loud. Pound fly, Eagles fly. They might. But they might be so demoralized by the time they play us, they might have checked out because they're losing tomorrow. Niners are losing tomorrow. You know? I say if the Cardinals can beat the Cowboys, anything is possible. If the Giants come out and run Saquon Barkley, maybe they can keep it close. Anything is possible, though.
Yeah,
you never know.
Matter.
Danny DeVito's going to show up, man. That would be hilarious. You know? Dalvin says Slay wasn't throwing Desai under the bus. I don't think we said that. Did we say that?
No,
we never said that. You guys have watched the whole podcast. He said he took CD because it was the last drive, but he doesn't travel with him because it's tips off man. Yeah, but we didn't say anything about
it was in game. Like he said, like he just telling Desai, not even asking. He's telling him like if CD goes in the slot, I'm going there. Like
yeah, but I don't think he threw him under the bus.
No,
not at all. Nobody said that. You know,
no.
But I like the fact that Slay wanted to step up and do that.
I know,
that
it's great.
Important. And it does tip off, man. Of course it does. But you know what? There's ways that you could tip off zone. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to tip off what you're running. You still have to go and execute the play. Fabio Davis Super Chat goes, Quez comes back for Chiefs.
Oh, this is.
But what does he have? How many games has he missed? Has he missed? He played in the Rams,
Miami and Dallas.
But was he on IR on the Rams Miami game? Was he on the IR?
Yeah, I think.
No, I think he's got another couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think he can come back. I don't know. I have to check when he went on the IR. I thought he missed one game, and I thought he missed the Miami game, but he wasn't put on the IR till later. But I have to double check.
You could be right. You could be right.
Which means that he would have what? You would have Washington, Dallas, bye week. So it might be after the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man.
Yeah, what do they do with that situation?
I think you got to play him. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you got to play him. But he's been one of the big disappointments.
He's got to be consistent. Like, he's got to be trusted. Like, the Rams game showed how much trust he didn't have. He'd rather throw to a smaller size Devontae Smith in traffic. He'd rather throw to AJ Brown triple covered than throw to him wide open in the end zone. I mean, it's just the truth. Like, I don't think there's a trust factor with between him and Quez. I really don't.
Yeah, you might be right. Morris says Philly 500. What do you think we should do at tight end? I think the tight end, assuming Calcaterra can come back from concussion, I think you gotta figure ways to incorporate him and Stahl, and I think more Julio Jones too.
Yeah.
I
see if they
think
give
that's
Albert
what you
O a
gotta do.
chance.
I think and the Albert O kid. We've heard a lot of things about upside, so let's see what he could do. But I think that for 4 weeks you can get by, and I think that they'll be fine. They were pretty good when he was out last year too, so I think they'll make it work. Yeah. I'm really shocked that it was only 4 weeks. Like, I thought that when you saw that injury, I'm like, this dude's done for the year.
It's a shame. It's crazy because he got hurt like the same, almost the same couple weeks separated. Like, he got within the same time he got injured. It was like week 7.
Did you think that was a cheap shot?
Yes, I do. I mean, I think. Yeah. Look, I think what happened was he wasn't taking Dallas Goedert down, so he tried to grab whatever body part he could. But I mean, he was already down. I mean, to put all your weight on somebody's arm and twist.
I mean, that dude twisted.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit. So it's a piece of garbage.
What are you gonna do? I'm just glad. I mean, I hate that he's hurt, but I'm telling you, I thought it was going to be for the rest of the year.
True.
Okay, Robinson says, hit that like button. I hit that like button. Thank you so much. Appreciating. Which King says, trusting in Quez is like trusting the Cowboys can win a divisional round of playoff games. That's a very good point. That's a good comparison. Really.
I mean, we missed that Burns. Like, the thing is, you can afford to, let Quez go after this year. It's not hard to find a number 3 receiver. It's not tough to find a number 3 guy. You don't have to draft one that's real high. You don't. It's not something that we need to keep Quez after this year and have to re-sign him. I don't know. Nick is a big defender of Quez, but Quez is just not showing up. He's just not showing up.
No, I hear you. He's not. I mean, you love what Quez is supposed to bring to the table. The speed that he has, but it just hasn't it hasn't manifested. Maybe he'll be better when he comes back. Joe says, curious, are we starting to see Goddard getting hurt a lot? I love the kid, but this seems like at least the second year in a row where he's missed a stretch. We need a good tight end number 2. Anyway, I think you draft a tight end number 2 in the draft, some late rounds or something. Mm-hmm. I think you look for another tight end, but Ertz, if you remember, Ertz had the same problem early in his career that kind of Goddard has, where he just always seemed to get nicked up. And yeah, it does seem like Goddard's always got something always happens. And hopefully, that won't be the that won't be the way it's going to keep going,
True.
Jimmy says 500. Oz did good with limited chances. I'd rock with. Yeah, I think on the chances he's gotten, I think he's done pretty good. Did he drop one ball in the end zone I can think of, but I think he's done all right. They just don't use him a lot, though.
They don't. I mean, because wide receiver 3 is probably one of the worst positions because he's not the focal point player. It's when Jaylen Hurts is extending plays, or if your number is called where you're the only option. Better be ready. And
yeah,
Oz really hasn't had a great game since Tampa. I mean, they really don't give him too much opportunity. I thought he got thrown three ball. Well, he got thrown three.
I don't
passes,
remember
two.
I remember one pass versus Dallas. That was all I remember. I think it was a Miami game. I think there was one in the end zone, went off his face mask.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he's been all right. It's going to be interesting. I want to see if they use Julio Jones more with Goddard.
Would love
out.
it. Would love
I
it.
I feel like Julio still can play.
True.
I do. Ty goes, Fly David Super J goes, I feel like Oz was playing good when Quez was hurt. Yeah, he wasn't bad, but I still think Quez gives you that speed. So we'll see. I mean, Quez, we'll see when he comes back. He's been healthy. He's been hurt since pretty much training camp.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same issue. So we'll see. That hamstring lingers on. That's why I worry about Jordan Davis. Like, Jordan Davis needs to rest because he's got it. We need him on the field, Trusting in Quez is like pressing the receivers the first 3 quarters, right? Philly, did you see the video of Mark Holmes and his buddies making fun of Hurts when he went down so low? No, I did not see that, but I would love to see it because I'll go off on him. But I never saw that. No, he ain't laughing now. Ty Eagles Fly David Super Chat goes, we can beat the Chiefs, Bills, and 49ers. I agree. I think that's all possible. If they win the next 3 games, this whole thing's a wrap, dude. It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to win 3 more at the end. That's 6 more wins. Yeah, you're talking about 14 wins. They're going to lock it up.
I believe it.
Splenda says 500. You should have streamed the Thursday game. It was good. Are you kidding me? There was no way I was going to stream Chicago versus Carolina. Miles Sanders, 2 carries, -5 yards.
God, really? He had minus. Oh my God, dude.
I think he had. Actually, I think it was 5 carries, -2 yards.
Dude,
yeah, he looks bad.
What is he doing? I mean, I mean, the line's not. I mean, he's averaging 3.1 a carry. It might be even lower than that now. It might even be lower than that. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see here. Philly D, thank you so much for the super sticker, man. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you. Yeah, it's crazy. Miles, yeah, it was 2 carries, -5 yards. Jeez.
You go where the money. Man. You guess you go where the money is. I mean, I guess it's.
I don't even know that. Dude, it don't look like Carolina took the right quarterback. The kid in Houston is good.
Houston looks. Yeah, he looks fantastic.
He's good. Like you could make, like, I've seen things where they're saying like you can legitimately make a case for him to be an MVP candidate.
Do you think Frank Reich will get fired? And do you think that he'll have a chance to either be an offensive assistant, or if Brian Johnson doesn't do well at the end of this year, do you think that Reich could be the new coordinator next year? I've always wanted to ask that.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they're going to fire Brian Johnson. Mm-hmm. I don't think Reich will get fired this year.
Okay.
But if he did and you lost Brian Johnson, like let's say Brian Johnson got a head coaching job somehow, then you might get him. Then I could see it. But they're not going to fire Brian Johnson, in my opinion. And Philly D, once again, thanks for super sticker, man. Bones David Super Chat. He goes, my best friend is a Cowboys fan, and there was no moral victory. He took that loss to the Eagles very hard. Plus, we had a bet. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe. But at least he took it like a man. He took, instead of making excuses like, oh, I think Dak is a MVP candidate.
But dude, do you know how many calls are missed every game? Like, the offensive line is the easiest because you know how many hold calls are missed every game?
Play.
Every play. Everybody's holding every damn play. Yeah. It's everybody's holding.
I don't think if there's any team of all the years I've been watching football that should never complain about holding, it's Dallas Cowboys.
True.
Because they have held more people than I mean, dude, it's just ridiculous. Jonah says James Harden drama free. So happy Sixers are James Harden drama free. The Dallas Mavericks announcer ripped Harden. I saw the ripping of Harden. It was beautiful, and thank God Harden's gone. Lee David Superchat goes, love the show, but still pissed at you, Philly, for cat trafficking Heisenberg.
Oh no,
cat trafficking Heisenberg. It was not cat trafficking.
Was Heisenberg? Well, I forgot. Was Heisenberg that was the one, right? Was Heisenberg the one that you were close to, or was
no? That was my little princess girl. No, Heisenberg. I gave him to a family.
Oh, moving to the house, right?
They're moving into a house, a new couple, and they're moving into their own house. And they took Heisenberg and his sister. So those two cats get to stay together forever. So I didn't cat traffic him. I actually rehomed him to like a really good place where he's actually going to be around his sister forever. So
you should call the old lady back. Be like, sorry, but we need the cat back because we have the paperwork.
I keep texting her. So everything okay?
Send me a picture.
Yeah, I was like, how's everything going? But no, but that old lady loves that cat. You know, I'm very picky about where they go. I don't just send them to people because I always get people who are trying to who are like, I'll take two girls and one male. I'm like, the hell you will, because I know what they're trying to do. They want to get them and then inbreed them and then sell, kittens. And I'm not going to do that. So I'm like, no, I'm very picky about where they go. It has to be the right family. Twit says, member for 7 months. Dingbat Nation, thank you so much for your support. He goes, I love brotherly shove Mark should wear. I love the brotherly shove Mark should wear. Yeah, I was thinking Dak Prescott is ass Mark Holmes and have it in quotes and just say Mark Holmes. Something like that for the bet. Let's see. And a one-legged Hurts. A one-legged Hurts carried his team while a two-legged Dak Prescott ran out of bounds on a 2-point conversion. Warrior Rage, David Superchat, Stroud is balling, but Minshew was like 36 touchdowns and 5 interceptions his first 20 starts. Foles was 27-2. Purdy is next Montana. Think we should all chill, but yeah, I mean, listen, you're absolutely right. It's one thing to do it 1 year,
right?
It's another thing to do it multiple years, and that's really the step Hurts is making. Hurts is showing you that he can do it multiple years. Splendid says 500 primetime games are trash, big time.
So what's the San Francisco? It's a 4:30 game.
No, it's a 1 o'clock game. 1 o'clock game. It's in Jacksonville.
No. Our game with San Francisco. That's our game with San Francisco.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I have the times on here. I think that's a 4 o'clock game.
I wonder if they'll flex that.
Well, we're on Monday. We're on Monday night versus Kansas City, right? Then we're a 4 o'clock game versus Buffalo, right? Are we a 4 o'clock game versus Buffalo? Let me pull up
Kelly Greens.
Yeah, that's a Kelly Green game. We ain't losing no Kelly Green. It ain't happening. And then let me see.
Yeah.
So it's a 4:25 game. You got 8:15. You got 8:15 versus Kansas City Monday night. Then you got 4:25 with Buffalo, 4:25 versus the Niners. Then you have a Sunday night game versus Dallas. Then a 4:25 game versus Seattle. 4:30 game versus Dallas on Christmas Day. Then you got a 1 o'clock game versus Arizona. And then you got a to be determined versus the Giants, which is probably going to be another 1 o'clock game, most likely.
Okay.
So, 4:25 versus Niners. Should be very interesting.
Yep.
So we're an hour and 18 minutes in. Is there anything else, man, you want to talk about before we get out of here? It's the bye week. I don't want to keep people too late. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I will be streaming 2 games tomorrow. So if you guys want to come hang out, feel free. But I think we're good, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, we're just going to see what the roster looks like, and then hopefully, I'm hoping for a change defensively. I'm hoping with Roby back and they're more settled in, and Kevin Byard's got more time with this team and more practices, and You know, I think KC's definitely a winnable game, no doubt. It's a Monday night game, so exciting.
No, I agree. And let me thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Like I said, I'm streaming the 49ers game tomorrow, and I'm streaming the Cowboys, and we'll be going Cowboys, Lions. I'm going to be going back and forth doing those two games. So if you guys want to come hang out, you're more than welcome. You got anything planned for tomorrow or anything?
Yeah, I'll have a couple vids out tomorrow. I'm gonna take advantage of some time and work on some projects in the house and get some stuff done that I really never have a chance to do. So tomorrow, and yeah, we probably won't have a shakedown most likely because
no, we don't need a post game. There's no post game tomorrow, so no shakedown tomorrow. No cigar video tomorrow. No. Even if Dallas wins, even if Dallas was a lose, I'm not doing a shakedown. I'm not doing a cigar video. So yeah, it'll be. I'm just doing those two games. And then I'm chilling. So
I get it.
And happy Veterans Day. I don't know why I said that before we started. I should have said that. But happy Veterans Day to everybody, all the veterans out there. Thank you so much for everything you do. We wouldn't be here and have these freedoms if it wasn't for you guys. And you guys always number one on this channel. That's for sure. So thank you so much. But with that said, man, let's get the hell out of here.
Do it.
I'm going to go watch Christmas shows. I got my trees up. We're ready to go. I got some, I got to do some, whatchamacallits tomorrow, my OnlyFans. I got some fresh new pies, Joey. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I got to come over.
Pies. Yep. Fresh apple pies some more. All right, guys, we out of here. You guys take care. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
One more play. The officials are back. We had one more.
You gotta be motherfucking kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What are you doing?
running from
What are you doing?
to get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Tell him more. He's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more
We
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
Way, but, this is just
The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
You
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end.